Welcome, low ego action heroes. This is Debbie Levitt from Delta CX, and welcome to our every Tuesday Ask Me Anything. I forgot to open my chat room, so hopefully you will say hi, send up an emoji, do something so that I can see who's joining us. Oh, great, my chat room wants me to log in. And that's going to take a moment. So while I do that, hey, Ana Lucia, don't forget that you can ask your questions. There's a link at the revised page, dcx.to. And while I try to log into my chat system, oh, I remember why I couldn't log in. It throws me, it's a UX universe. It throws me so many, not captchas, what do you call it? Like where I have to click boxes where there are motorcycles. And the entire screen is full of motorcycles. So I remember now. I couldn't get past this damn thing. So anyway, if you've got a question, you can ask it here in the chat, or you can send it through the link on dcx.to. And again, say hello or send up an emoji, especially you on LinkedIn, because that'll help us hopefully get a little traction with the algorithm over there. And now I've got to put in a two-factor authentication code. You know, easy. Easy to use my chat system, right? Okay, hopefully working now. Yes, so every Tuesday I am here to answer your questions. This is a completely free service. You don't have to pay anything or join a club. You don't have to agree with me. You don't even have to like me. But you do have to be interested in my answers to your questions. So all questions are welcome. You don't have to work in CX or UX. Oh, it's my husband. Hi, honey. Why are you doing what? Hi, hi, honey, who's just over there. Um, so yeah, all questions are welcome and hellos, of course, are welcome. And let's see. Yeah. So if anybody has any questions, you will be first. I didn't get any questions ahead of time today. If you send in a question outside of the Tuesday show, which you can do at dcx.to, I save these questions up, and then you are among the first to get an answer when the show comes on. And while we wait, thanks as always to everybody on Patreon, past, present, and future. Some people here have upgraded or downgraded, but thanks to everybody who is supporting me. And of course, we have a free tier on Patreon. So definitely get involved and get early access to lots of stuff. I'll talk about what I have coming up soon for those of you watching while I wait for some questions. I've got 2 books coming out in the next month. Just in case you're wondering what I've been doing while I'm looking for work, in about a week or so, I have my first children's book coming out. Sorry, it's being green screened out or blue screened out. It is a children's book about my dogs, Canetti Perfetti. So again, follow dcx.to and join our mailing list, and you'll know when this comes out. It's going to publish August 29, and it is a children's book about my dogs. And then I've got another book that's going to come out in late September, and you are the target audience. No dogs will be involved. And you are definitely going to want to know when that one comes out. It's going to answer a lot of questions on a lot of people's minds. I'll just say that. For now, it is still a secret. So there. Let's see. Oh, that finally uploaded. Good golly. I've been trying to upload something for hours now, and it is not fun. Let's just check if I am missing anything. Thanks, Katerina. So let's see. We've got some people watching live on LinkedIn. So yeah, we are live. So if anybody has any questions, I am here to answer them. All questions are welcome. No questions are considered unintelligent. So you are welcome to ask anything that you like. If we don't have any questions this week, that's totally cool. It's a quiet week. A lot of people are on their summer vacations. So we can certainly wrap it up if people don't have a question and pick it up next week. Oh, that reminds me to get in the calendar. the special event that we'll do on September 26th to launch the book. So yeah, you will want to join that. And what's this? That's fine. Okay. Just making sure I'm not missing any questions. We'll give it another couple of minutes, but if we don't see any questions, we'll wrap up and call it a day and say thanks for coming. Let's see. Am I missing anything here? Looks like not. Okay, we'll give it a 2-minute countdown, and if people don't have any questions, that's cool. I hope everybody will have a good week. I am working on my. Oh, someone asked a question. Hooray! Okay. All right, hold on. Let me get that one up on the screen, and we will answer it. Thank you. Okay, it says it's from a UX researcher who is tired. I think we can identify with that. Okay, so let me get this on the screen and we'll talk about what this says. I haven't seen what it says yet, and I need to fix some of these line breaks and make the font a little smaller so we can all see it. And okay, then we'll read it out loud. And yes, send your questions in. Let's see. Ooh, okay, this is longer than I thought. No problem. You can send in long questions. Okay, that's going to be a little hard to read, but I will put it in the YouTube description later since we're also live on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe to CX-CC. Okay, let's get this on the list. Okay. Hi, Debbie. Thank you for this opportunity to ask a question. Sure, I do this every week. My question is about the future of UX research. I've been working as a UX researcher now for 5.5 years. Before that, I did other jobs in IT, like project manager and business analyst. I live in Western Europe. I am deeply disappointed by the current UX research market, the amount of jobs open, the quantity of the interview rounds, the quality of the case studies I'm asked to solve, the ignorance of the team about UX and what we do, and the most important is the constant need to prove my value as a researcher. I love UX research, but at this point I'm losing hope for things to get better. It's hell to find a job, and then it's hell to stay in it, always needing to prove my worth. I've never experienced this in other roles. I've never needed to prove my worth as a business analyst. So my question is, where do you think the field of UX research is heading? Is there a future for us? Do you believe teams and companies will ever understand our value so we can stop proving it all the time? And the most important, what other roles would you advise researchers to apply to if they hope things will get better? Thanks so much, a UX researcher who is tired. Ana Lucia says, I'm just hanging out. Yeah, so person who asked this question, and I don't know who you are, so totally cool to be anonymous. I don't have to know who you are. This is a common sentiment. We are now getting questions like this every week. We used to get questions every week about how to do our work better or how to handle some conflicts in a job. And now, pretty much every week, I'm getting questions about how difficult the job market is, how much people are losing hope about working in UX. And so, the number one thing that I want to say here is I absolutely hear you. You are not alone. You are not inventing this or making this up. This is not only happening to you. There are many, many people thinking and feeling these things right now. So let's just say you're going to want to stay tuned for my late September book. DCX.to will have a link to a new Discord I might be setting up and maybe a mailing list I might be setting up that will have a new name you haven't seen before. But you need advice and you need help. So what can we say for someone like you? Oh, Ana Lucia says, if they didn't have to prove themselves as a BA, they were lucky. I'm in a dev community, and let's just say some people are extremely toxic and question why that role exists. Yeah, unfortunately, we see a lot of this in tech in general right now. There are product managers who have to prove why they should exist, especially when Marty Kagan comes out and says lots of companies don't need product managers. People wonder if they need project managers. So roles where, if this person's been doing UX research for 5.5 years, then they were probably a business analyst in the previous decade where that was definitely a better understood and appreciated job. I know I appreciated it, so because I didn't have to do it. Hello, Kelby. So I don't know why it's not coming up on my screen, but I think we've got a hello from Kelby. Um, let's see. I'll try to keep this open. And Cameron, hello, Cameron. So let's talk more about this, other than directing you to dcx.to and telling you to look out for things I'm working on. So the question was, where do I think the field of UX research is heading? Is there a future for us? Will companies and teams ever understand our value? So that's hard to predict. Even years ago when I tried to make a prediction, it's all up to quality. Here's the thing: if we have a company that really cares about the quality of the products and services we make, the quality of customer and user experiences, when we really care about attracting customers and satisfying them and making them want to be loyal, not because we bullied them into being loyal or tricked them into staying with us, but because we made something so good they don't want to leave. If you have a company who cares about that, they probably do care about research. Some of the research they care about will be quantitative. They'll want to run surveys and try to quickly validate things in ways that we don't love as UX researchers. And some of that will be deeper conversations with customers. So I think that companies do care at least a little about research. They do care at least a little about working from data. The problem is when we live in a universe that puts speed over everything else and deadlines over everything else, where does UX research fit in? That's why people just want to run some fast surveys and run with that data, even if the data is flawed or incorrect. And then people say, well, what do we need you for? We know our customers, or we'll just get it out there and we'll fix it later. And so when you have an ecosystem or processes or a company that just assumes we can put garbage out there and we'll, maybe we'll fix it later and maybe we won't, then research is less valued, design is less valued, content strategists and writers are less valued. So that means it's hard for me to predict where this is going to go, because we seem to be on a trajectory of not caring about quality, of not caring about outcomes. Companies don't seem to care about whether or not you stay in the job, whether or not you're happy in the job. They don't seem to care, even when they claim we care about, if you saw my most recent article, we care about community and belonging. That almost needs the fake empathy sparkles that we do on the show. Oh, we have so much empathy. We don't. We just don't. So I think that UX research is something that is just going to keep evolving. I'm not confident that it's going to evolve in ways that we feel good about. I think that with companies caring about speed more than they care about quality, I think with companies caring about being fast more than they care about really understanding customers, and with companies following the bad processes in books that have just been failing us for years, but we do them because we think they're so cool. Um, I don't hold out a lot of hope. I want to be more hopeful. I work in research. I love research. I want to be hired as a researcher, but I don't hold out a lot of hope that companies really are moving in a direction of appreciating this more. I think they're moving in a direction of how do we do less of this faster? And I think that doesn't match why a lot of us got into research. We got into research to deliver quality data that can really make a difference. And when companies want low quality data that might make a bad difference, we feel like Is it me or is it them? It's not you. You're trying to do the right thing. So, where is research headed? I don't know, but I'm not completely hopeful about it because I don't see a shift towards quality. If companies really cared about quality and they wanted things to be higher quality and deadlines were more secondary, then I would say good news. Companies care about quality. These are the conversations to have, and we can promote better research and design because we're going to talk about quality and someone's going to go, "Oh yeah, that is our promise to our customers. Our promise is quality. We make something good that you need." But I'm not seeing enough of that right now. Still, I'm advising people to have those conversations, open conversations about quality, open conversations about quality over what does UX research do and prove your value. If they let us do quality work, it would naturally prove its value. So that's the whole thing. I've written about this many times in my Medium and in my LinkedIn newsletter about how they block us from doing good work and then they wonder what our value is. Okay, then you're just being gaslit. So the rest of this question, put it back up on the screen, even though I know it's hard to read and I'm on a uh, 50-inch television and I can't see it. So bring out your magnifying glasses. The rest of this question said, what other roles would you advise researchers to apply to if they hope things will get better? Okay, so this is where you can try what I call reverse engineering job descriptions. You want to do research tasks. Which jobs are allowed or encouraged to do research tasks? These might, oh, hold on, I accidentally took the comments off the screen. Here we go. Sometimes people are calling this market research. You could try to apply for that. Some people are trying to move UX research into product management because the product managers are feeling like they're being questioned and they don't deliver value. So they're trying to grab everybody else's job that delivers value and claim it's theirs. I think that's going to backfire for them. But in my opinion, if a product management job wants UX research, apply for it. Apply for every job you qualify for and forget the title. Titles are all over the place right now. You could be called a strategist, a business analyst, a product manager, a project manager, a program manager, a marketing something something, and be doing the things you're telling me you want to do, probably with a combination of the things you used to do. And that's why you, question asker, are going to qualify for those jobs because you have enough experience in some different tech areas that you could apply for the product manager job that wants to see some UX and some project management and some business analysis and some strategic this and that. Is that your dream job? I don't know. But if you want to stay in tech, that might be the direction you're going in. So, my advice has generally been to apply for any job you qualify for and to worry less about what the title is. It doesn't make sense to keep fighting over our titles. These are hills we don't need to die on. I don't want to fight over our titles anymore. They don't matter. It doesn't matter if you want to call me lead UI UX researcher. My last job, my title was lead UX researcher, which is fine. And when my coworkers first met me, people outside of UX, they were calling what I did UI UX research. I didn't freak out. I didn't bring them a PowerPoint. I didn't tell them there is no such thing as UI UX. I just didn't use that term. I just kept calling it UX and UX research. And guess what? They stopped saying UI UX research. So we don't have to fight over titles. We can call this what it is. Our title is what it is. I'm not going to get wrapped up in it. So I would say take a look for the jobs that you qualify for. They might be called market researcher, sorry, it's the sound of me mixing up my dinner shake, market researcher, market analyst, product manager, program manager, project manager. Titles are all over the place. It's, excuse me, so hard to say. I love when companies reject a job application I put in like April and it's August and I'm like, who are you again? I guess neither of us made quite an impression on each other. Mm. Pass. Okay. Thank you for a super question. Please note that after my secret content has been released in about a month, I will have a lot more to say about these things. But for now, I'm keeping my new content secret. So make sure you're part of my community. Make sure you're in an algorithm-free zone. Make sure you're in my Slack, my Discord, my even my free Patreon or my new mailing list. Make sure you're somewhere where you can hear from me directly without an algorithm deciding whether or not you see it. Because if you only subscribe to me on YouTube or you're only following me on LinkedIn, there's a chance that the algorithm says, "Yeah, I don't want to show you this one." And then you go, "What? Deb put out a book that actually answers all my questions." And then I go, "Yeah, I put out a book." So, you know, I got to get the message out somehow, y'all. All right. If you have a follow-up question to that, please ask it, even if you weren't the original question asker. Katerina. Hey, ciao, Katerina. Yeah, thank you. Whether or not you were the asker, thank you for joining us and shifting from LinkedIn to YouTube. It's always the better way. YouTube is definitely the better platform. I don't know why LinkedIn is so funky. You'd think they would have made this better by now, but speed over quality. So yes. Yeah. So if anybody has any follow-up questions, you're welcome to put them in the chat. Just note that they'll come up on the screen with your name. If you want to ask something more anonymously, you can use the link at dcx.to. I just reorganized that page. Hopefully it's better, but I have to admit I don't spend a lot of time interaction designing my own website. I am too busy. I'm writing a bunch of books right now, including my upcoming book about my dogs. It's for kids, though a few adults told me they enjoyed reading it. So if you need a relaxing children's book and you're an adult, there's that too. Oh, I'm all blurry. Hello. Now you get to see my terrible dry hands. Okay, there we go. I'm in focus. Ana Lucia, LinkedIn just messed up the algorithm again. I didn't receive a notification about your live. Yeah, LinkedIn rarely tells people that I'm live. It's really strange. So again, algorithms stink. That's also why over on the dcx.to page, we've got a link to an events calendar. If you follow our events calendar, you will always know when I am going live or doing a workshop or offering a course. I've got a whole bunch of new courses coming up. In fact, I'm going to be recording one of my new courses tomorrow for because it's going to be a video course with exercises, and that is going to be on writing and public speaking. I get a lot of people asking me how to write better and how to be more confident in public speaking. So, new course coming up. Um, yeah, so we'll give it a couple of more minutes. My gong will go off in 2.5 minutes. If we don't have a question by then, totally cool. We can wrap up for today. But let me know if anybody has a question. Ana Lucia, I even checked if I had all of your notifications on or just the relevant ones, but it said I was being notified of everything. No, I'm not. Yeah, I find that a lot on both YouTube and LinkedIn. They shadow ban people for reasons that nobody seems to be able to explain or wants to talk about. And so that's why I try to get everybody who's watching this away from algorithms. Please join the Patreon, even at the free level, the mailing list, the Slack or Discord. Please join my universe in a way where where you're not going to miss something, because otherwise this stuff is just out of my control. Wah, wah, wah. Do, 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 do. Choo, choo, choo. Any other thoughts or questions? We've got a minute. If you send in a question after we go off the air today, I save those questions, and next week your questions will be among the first that I answer. So you can always ask a question. If you are part of our Slack or Discord, we've got people asking questions there. So that's another way to go as well. I'm active in my own community, and I try to help people where I can. Sorry for the dead air, but I can't sing because then I'll get a copy strike on YouTube. So, since we are winding down and the gong is about to sound, and I don't see any other questions coming in anonymously, bong. Then I guess I will flame us out of here for now. But again, please do join my online communities so that we can get away from these algorithms and you won't be like, hey, how come I wasn't notified that you went live? Or I have a question, why didn't you answer it? So I want to make sure I'm giving people some attention. So dcx.to, everybody. There's lots of things you can join, and they're all free. So go, go, go. Um, Ana Lucia, just out of curiosity, last week, the CEO of a company that releases one of the games I play cried while doing a live and said he didn't understand the criticism they were receiving. Yes. Uh, what is this? Uh, let's see, digital proof. Yeah, let me put that on the list and let's talk about that for a moment. We've talked about this before, but not in a couple of years. So it's good to see this one come back around. Let me put the question up on the screen and we'll spend a few minutes talking about this. I think we talked about this in 2018 or 19 when Blizzard released a phone game and there's a huge backlash and criticism because most of their target audience weren't phone-based gamers, or at least didn't want to play Blizzard games on small interfaces like phones. So what I find is that and this goes back to the first question about research. Researcher, are you still here? When a company, when worker bees, leadership, and executives are surprised by customer feedback, customer backlash, complaints, criticism, angry tweets, bad articles, bad reviews, angry YouTube videos. If you are surprised by those, then you are out of touch with your customers. I think I had this in my 2019 book because it was happening. The game released in 2019, and until now, they were only thinking about catering to new players. They completely ignored active and long term players, so people got tired of giving feedback. Is this Blizzard? Because it sounds like the Blizzard thing we talked about in 2018/19. Um, again, if you are surprised by the feedback of the customers, then you're out of touch with the customers. Some people were asking for things since 2021 that were only now implemented. Right, because we don't care about quality. We just want to come out with new features and improvements, or they will fix it later. They're just going to sit in the backlog forever. And, why do we need to fix that? Let's just work on new things and new features. That's very often the way companies approach things. So, so the CEO crying sounds like that's not going to win the CEO a lot of positive attention, probably a lot of, is derision the right word? I think people will make fun of this person. But I don't have a lot of sympathy or maybe even empathy for the CEO who's so out of touch with their customers that they're surprised that people are complaining and they don't have teams assigned to fix things and make broken things better. Ana Lucia says it's Mihoyo Hoyo verse, and it's regarding Genshin Impact. They have completely different attitude with that game. They listen to the community. They implement the feedback Genshin receives there. Okay, so not Blizzard, but same thing happened to Blizzard, which means this guy also didn't learn from Blizzard. Going through this around 2018, where they had an executive at their own conference like booed, and this guy didn't was so surprised by the feedback. If you are surprised by feedback, you're not doing enough of the right research. You should completely be aware of which customers are going to like the new thing, which customers are likely to not like the new thing, which customers are likely to be vocal about that, and you have to be ready. Instead of crying, that person should be ready to answer them and be able to say, well, thank you for that feedback. It's important feedback. Criticism should be something that we can listen to and take, and here's what we're doing about that. That would be the CEO thing to do. Crying sounds a little strange. So that's some of my thoughts on that. These people are out of touch because they don't care. They think, oh, we're a great game house or whatever. People are going to want what we do. And then they seem to shatter into pieces when they find out people don't want it. Well, you could have found that out millions of dollars ago if you had some research. Now he said they were hurt by the criticism, and this year he gathered the team to try to improve the game. They're actually doing things now, but just now. Yeah, I don't know why this person wasn't hurt X years ago when the criticism first started coming in. Like, what made this person wake up in 2024 if the criticism has been coming in for 3 or more years? So, again, all of these point to leadership and executives that are out of touch with the target users and the target users' reactions and feedback and experiences of the product or service they put out. Money. They've been getting millions. Yeah. And a lot of companies feel like, why should we do anything different? People are buying the game, right? So we must be doing something right. If we're doing something wrong, nobody would buy the game. But that's a false statement. You can do a lot wrong and still have customers. So there you go. Yeah. Why? How did we not know? The signs and the data was there and someone ignored it. Because money. Ana Lucia says this year a few competitors appeared, and I think they finally felt they should do something for their returning players. Yeah, and a lot of times what I find is that companies, I think this is even in the Customers Know You Suck book, which is a lot of times companies don't have a strategy for what happens if a strong competitor appears, or if a current competitor suddenly gets stronger or wins more attention or market share. Companies that have some success and some good money coming in tend to feel like, yep, we're good, and it'll keep being good. And then when they get criticism, they think, who cares? We'll find more players, or this competitor's a little stronger. Yeah, so what? We're this company, and everyone's going to want it. So it's really arrogance. It's arrogance and a lack of strategy. To me, a strong company has a set of strategies ready to go if something bad happens. This is risk management. You have to be ready for what happens if customers start leaving or you have a data breach or whatever. Like, you're supposed to be ready for these scenarios, but not just ready for when they happen. But if you're a really smart company, then you're making sure they don't happen. How about putting things in motion so that you're not creating a lot of negativity and dislike from your customers? So there you go. All right. Thank you again for today's questions and conversation. Oh, it's mind boggling to think a company believes players that play right now will still play in the future. If they like it, they will still like it. Only new players say, yeah. Again, these are foolish things that show that the company doesn't have a strong strategy. You can't assume, you can't be complacent and say, "Look, we have customers and these customers give us money, so they're probably going to stay." Or when we send out surveys, we get 8, 9, 10 on our NPS or other things, so we think people are going to stay. I gave a company 8s and 9s for years, and then one day I left because I found something better. That company was so confused, the CEO reached out to me. So, you know, you can't be complacent. Don't be BlackBerry. BlackBerry was so complacent that they were always going to be the smartphone leader that they didn't do enough to cater to customers and changing needs and technologies, and then they were toast, total toast. So, there you go. All right, I'm going to wind us down for today. Thanks again to the people who hung out and who asked questions and added to the chat. Thank you, everybody. And I do this every Tuesday, so come on back, send in your questions, and otherwise, I hope to see you somewhere in my online community. Thanks again. Bye, and happy Tuesday.